What's up, everybody, and welcome to Let's Talk Physical Media, the show that we do live every single Wednesday, at 6:45 p.m. Eastern Time. So wherever you are, thanks for joining me here tonight. Let me adjust this a little bit. Just got home from work not too long ago. Was just setting up all of the show here and everything we're going to be talking about today. Actually, looks like some of the stuff isn't processing correctly, so that's a little bit of a problem because then how am I supposed to show this all to you if I can't do it? So we'll have to wait and see on that one. But hey, we got plenty of news coming out of the gate. Criterion announced their January stuff already, if you can believe that. Second Sight made some pretty big announcements as well. And we know that the Descent is coming to 4K. So let's see what's going on. What's your favorite making of special feature? In the history of 4K Blu-rays, I would say that the thing that or just in general, DVD era, the best making of I ever saw was for I'm going to say Blade Runner. It's a pretty long one, but also The Frighteners. If you have the full collection that came out from Turbine a few years ago, that 4K Blu-ray, that is also an incredible making of. I think it's like 4 hours long. And then obviously Heart of Darkness, that's an incredible making of as well from way back in the day. This is just a bunch of stuff that we're going to be talking about. Let me see if I can find something else, because we have a problem with some of the stuff not working right now. It's all right. We'll get to it in a little while. What's up? 5 watching, 4 lights. Let's keep it up. Yeah, appreciate it, guys. If you can throw me a like, if you guys are watching right now. John, there's so much stuff coming out. It's nuts. I know it's getting pretty damn crazy, if I'm being honest, on this month, especially in October. Like yesterday, I just got Mission Impossible, and Final Reckoning on 4K Blu-ray. I already checked that out. Review coming soon. And I also already got Jacob's Ladder on 4K from Lionsgatw Limited, which is a beautiful looking 4K Blu-ray. Insomnia, I'm super psyched for the Descent. Do we get both versions in 4K? I'm wondering about that as well. What we're gonna get from them as far as the Descent goes. Let me find image file. Wow. Let's find the pictures of the Descent actually, so we can put that on here, and so we can look at it as a group project. So there's the Descent right there. That's like kind of not the best image, but I could find something else a little bit, hopefully a little bit cleaner. Let's see if I can convert this into a JPEG right now. But yeah, looks pretty good. Lionsgatw Limited. So we kind of knew it was we knew it was going to be coming pretty soon. We knew it was going to come from Lionsgatw Limited, but this is the first time we've actually gotten a look at it. So Lionsgatw Limited, you have to order directly from them, which is the only really shitty thing. We used to be able to get them from Best Buy for like $20, if you guys can remember that back in the day. There's the Descent right there as well. What's up? What's up, buddy? How you doing, Ben Rondo, our channel director? I really appreciate you popping in here. Channel producer, I'm sorry. But what do you guys think of the Descent? I mean, it's celebrating its anniversary. I think this 4K Blu-ray is going to be phenomenal. It's one of those underrated horror movies that when it first came out, I don't remember that many people actually talking about the Descent. So it's pretty funny that now it's like considered one of the those great horror films that developed such a huge cult following that this now became one of people's most anticipated 4K Blu-ray releases. It's pretty high up on the list for me too. I mean, next month's going to be tough. It's going to really depend how much money I got lying around, because next month we'll get into it in the end of the show, as we usually do, where we look at like the upcoming list of movies coming out. November, especially early November, that's like the same exact week that The Mask is coming out. That might ship pretty soon, hopefully. And yeah, look at this beauty. And they didn't stop there, Second Sight. They really went nuts with something I didn't expect them to go nuts with. And I got to get your guys' opinion on if you'll even be picking this up. But what do you guys think about this? The American Psycho 4K Lionsgatw Limited release. I don't know if you can tell right there, but that's a blockbuster card. I assume that's everybody from the One Seeds business card. I'm not somebody who gets overly excited for certain collector's editions when I already have the 4K Blu-ray. Like, I already have the 4K Blu-ray for American Psycho, and I haven't looked into it. Maybe somebody in the chat actually knows it and will be able to tell me if this is the same exact scan from the previous 4K Blu-ray, because I already have American Psycho's like standard edition 4K Blu-ray, and it's already gotten another steelbook. So this is just a different steelbook release. So is there anything different, or is it just the packaging? Because I'll admit it, doing this right here, recreating American Psycho as the Huey Lewis and the News, like what was that, Sport? Yeah, that was the Sport album that he's talking about in the movie. to actually recreate that as American Psycho is fucking awesome. I'm not going to sell it short. I'm very impressed with that. The Amex card, like I love it, but is this worth it in your guys' opinion? I'm very curious. I pretty fit for the full 4K Steelbook. That's pretty awesome. So, all right. So you're with me. If I already didn't have American Psycho, I'd go for that. It's a nice kit. That's the whole thing. Like, would you get it if you already didn't have it? So they're all really going all out with the 20th at 5th anniversary edition. Yeah, so it is beautiful, but I don't know if I can justify it. That's the whole thing. I never saw it, but I do like to watch the cape exploration videos on YouTube, and I got in bed on YouTube and not get in bed on time. So yeah, I would definitely recommend if you've never seen The Descent and you're into that. I'll tell you, the things that are scariest most in that movie is the amount of claustrophobia in it. Like those small areas, like I feel uncomfortable and out of breath watching it. One film similar to Descent is Things Happen in Fall, where they go get stuck on the radio tower. Oh, I've never actually seen that movie, so maybe that's something I'll have to check out. Penny for the Fall 4K Steelbook. Okay, so that's what you're referring to earlier. All right. So yeah, this is something I just don't know if I can justify, but that scene is iconic. I have to return some videotapes. Did we actually know if it was Blockbuster? Did we ever see his Blockbuster card in the movie? But Lionsgate Limited is just doing some phenomenal work lately. Looks like it has new special features for the 25th anniversary. Okay, so if it's got new special features, maybe that's more justifiable. I'd have to look in and see like what exactly those new special features are. Is it new special features like the Nightmare on Elm Street collection special features where it's like 2 7-minute special features and it's not really anything other than that? Because I don't know, I was pretty disappointed with the new special features on the Nightmare on Elm Street collection, but Lionsgate Limited, you know, usually they do a pretty good job, but if the scan's exactly the same, I don't know if I can justify the price that they're charging for that. I want American Psycho, but I already have the Steelbook with the peeling face in 4K. Yeah, they just keep doing this re-release of Steelbooks and just putting out the same scan. If they could just, you know, shine that up a little bit nicer, it might be more justifiable for someone like me, at least, and maybe for like you guys as well, where it's like, if you're going to upgrade the visuals or audio, at least then I can get behind it. I never realized a woman directed American Psycho. All I ever heard about this was the writer. Oh, really? Yeah, I knew that a woman directed this. None of them, I think, were involved with the sequel. Mary Harden. Yeah, yeah, I believe the writer is also a female. So a lot of females behind the making of this movie. I mean, he's a fucking monster, Christian Bale. I'd argue that's still his best film. And I don't know if you guys heard recently, maybe this because of the 25th anniversary, and they talked about this, but when they were making the movie, the other actors like Justin Theroux, like the other actors around him, like, you know, his boys, essentially, when they were making the movie, they thought that he was the worst actor and they could not understand why people were so behind him because of, like, you know, he kind of does the method thing as well on set, at least for American Psycho. They didn't understand his like whole performance. It wasn't until they saw the movie at the premiere that they finally they got it. Like it clicked, like the satire nature of like his character. I've always really enjoyed the movie, and I still do believe that it is his best performance overall. And Christian Bale, you know, he's won an Academy Award. I know the biggest new feature was a new Q&A with director Marion Harmon and a new featurette. Okay, well, you know, like that's almost justifiable. It's crazy. I don't know if you guys saw the Nightmare on Elm Street's featurettes, but like they're 7 minutes long, and they're all new interviews, and it feels like they got longer footage, but they edited it all together into just 14 minutes. Like almost unjustifiable. It was absolutely ridiculous what they did with that. The Back to the Future $150 box set is something similar. It's something I'm getting because there's not enough in there to justify buying the new movies again. It's spendy, but that series is one of my favorites. See, that's different. It's one of your favorites, Insomniac, so that makes sense. You can justify it a little bit more because you're a big fan. Like if Batman 89 ever gets a true re-release with something like how American Psycho is right here, I would buy the 4K Blu-ray again. It's just that I haven't liked any of the stuff that we've gotten. Like when they re-released the 4K Steelbook last year for Batman 89, it was just the same exact 4K Steelbook. They didn't do anything new to it. It's something that they were just re-releasing, and I didn't like the artwork to begin with. Same thing with the Terminator. If it's something that I truly love, I'll go out of my way for it. Like American Psycho, I enjoy the movie, but it's not like it's one of my all-time favorite films. It's not something I revisit more than like once every few years. I won't order from Lionsgate Limited until I get a free shipping $100 order. Might be a while. Well, wait for a sale. They did do the Father's Day. That's been their only sale so far since they've had Lionsgate Limited. Has been that one Father's Day sale that they did. It was 40% off, I believe, earlier this year. I would imagine though that they're going to give us a sale in like November or December when everybody else is having a sale. Like it only makes sense that they would do something like in the I don't think they'll ever not have a sale because I don't think everything is appeal to everybody at this point. Like I still need to get I want to get Kick Ass, I want to get a Frailty. Like there's still some stuff that I want to get from Lionsgate Limited that I haven't been able to justify like out of the gate. Like, if it comes in a good sale, okay, then maybe that makes a little bit more sense and I wouldn't mind grabbing that. But at this point, I don't know. That just doesn't make I can't logically say that that's the way to go is my point on this, unfortunately. I want to actually talk one more Lionsgate Limited thing that we haven't talked about yet. I just have to convert the image file because it's not going to work on here right away. But speaking of Terminator, I think we'll actually get the new transfer to T2. They keep rumoring about. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much stock I put in that rumor, unfortunately, because they haven't really talked at all about it ever since. And then we got that Terminator 1 and 2 re-release when they were in one package together, I should say. And I just don't think that they're going to do it. I hope they do it. I mean, they feel like they should be aware enough to know that that's been something that people have been asking about. I don't know, maybe an anniversary. I guess next year would be its 35th anniversary, if I'm correct. So maybe next year for its 35th anniversary, they actually finally answer what we've been asking for. Who knows? I hope we can get it because that Terminator 2 scan is god awful. I just rewatched it again, and it's crazy to me how much better the Skynet edition is over the Studio Canal Blu-ray and 4K Blu-ray editions that it came out. For it was 2017, I want to say, for the 3D re-release in theaters. Came with the hand, that was cool, but unfortunately, the 4K scan. It's very disappointing. It's even overly blue, like me and David talked about in our review of the movie itself a couple of months ago. And this is what I want to talk to you guys about. Lionsgate Limited is also doing the US release of this on 4K Blu-ray, while I believe Umbrella is doing the Australian release, which will probably be most of Region B. But we'll be getting Dogma from Lionsgate Limited finally on 4K Blu-ray, and I like what they're doing here. Pretty cool. Obviously, tying in. I lost out on the Lionsgate Limited sale. Everything they put up for sale, I already bought. Yeah, that's kind of what's shitty too. Sometimes at the early days, I was kind of buying them all. Now I only like pick and choose. Again, I just can't justify buying every single one. The Descent is one I'll probably have to make an exception before because it's the Descent, one of the most anticipated 4K Blu-ray releases of all time. So that makes a little bit more sense, more justifiable. Buddy Jesus artwork is pretty good. I like that. I mean, it's perfect, right? I think it works. Buddy Jesus had to be on the cover. I guess you could have gone with the original poster art that had Ben Affleck and Matt Damon at the time on the cover. I mean, because the cast is stacked from top to bottom. It's amazing the amount of people that they were able to get. Also, just getting what's his name? Getting all the big time actors of the I guess Matt Damon and Ben Affleck weren't that big yet. This is 1999. It's 1 year after Good Will Hunting. I guess they weren't superstars yet, but you also had Chris Rock in there. So many great actors. Greg Carlin, to get him as an actor, and he actually does a pretty damn good job. And that Fraley and Dogma might get me over the hump. Yeah, if you want to wait for those movies, that might be the ones that get you there. I mean, also The Conversation. I don't know if we're ever going to get a cheaper version. I guess I'll have to end up buying that in a sale, but they only have it with all those extras in there. And I don't really need the cassette tape. I don't need all that. A simple slipcover like this would be more than enough from Lionsgate Limited to justify me picking up The Conversation. But I can't spend more than $30 on The Conversation. That's ridiculous. I don't care how good it is. And it's a great movie, don't get me wrong, but it's not as rewatchable as the Godfather films, which, Godfather 2 and The Conversation came out the exact same year. I appreciate all the performances, but I can't justify that. I don't know if you guys do. What's up, John in chat? What's up, Eli? Thanks for popping in here, buddy. I really do appreciate it, man. We were just talking about some of the Lionsgate Limited releases, American Psycho, The Descent, The Dogma's coming pretty soon. So we're getting a little bit spoiled on that. Don't forget to slash that like button and subscribe to this awesome channel. I would really appreciate that, guys. Thank you so much if you don't mind. But we did get more than just what Lionsgate Limited was talking about today. Can you guys believe it? We're already talking about all of the January Criterion releases. Like 2025 is coming to an end that fast, and we're already talking about the January releases from the Criterion collection. And it looks like the wallets will be safe in January, in my opinion. If anyone wants to jump in here and give me some thoughts on some of these films, because I'm not familiar with them all, I would appreciate that. Real Moody, what up, buddy? Thanks for stopping in here. Starting off right here, Kiss of the Spider Woman. This is directed by Hector Babenco. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. You guys know I'm bad with names. This is a film I've never seen. I like the artwork on it, but again, never really seen it before to really tell you what I I think of it. Also, then Dead Man, a film by Jim Jarmusch. Jim Jarmusch, this is one of his films I haven't seen. I'm sure this is probably pretty good. I like the artwork on it. If anyone's seen this one, I know Jim Jarmusch. He's a good indie director. A lot of people like him. I've seen a few of his films. Never really loved him. Never heard of that movie. LOL. Yeah, there's good. A lot of these movies are not something that I could say I've either heard of. I've this movie. The poster is very distinct. I think you pronounce it Yee. Edward Lang directed this one. I remember this poster very well, and that logo, but I do not know the film. Ghost Dog was interesting. Ghost Dog is very interesting. I was hoping you would pop in here. I would say Yee is a must watch if you like movies like The Farewell. Okay, so I did like The Farewell. So all right, so I will take you. I was hoping you would pop in here, buddy, because I figured you'd seen some of these movies. You're the Criterion guy, so I figured you would have a little bit more expertise in some of these. I agree. Only interested in Yee in 4K. So you guys recommend Yee. So maybe that's something for January. I should definitely grab that because that's I do remember this poster. I just never saw it. I think these might be upgrades. The Martin Scorsese World Cinema Project, but you're going to be getting Chronicles of the Years of Fire, which is from Algeria, 1975. I hope I don't sound like I'm just listing these things. Idrissa Urako from Yam Dabao, Burkina Faso, 1986. My God, I'm butchering these. And this is from India, Kumati, directed by G. Gaverson, 1979. And The Fall of Artar, directed by, what does that say? Ardak Amarkalao, Kazakhstan, 1991. So, my God, I just butchered all that, and I am sorry. So far, Lionsgate is my only pre-order for January. November, December is stacked. Yeah, we're really getting out in the woods on having to spend some money. E is a long, but it's a very good family drama. Hey, I don't mind length. Yep, September, October broke me. I mean, my God, we'll talk about it. We'll go down the calendar as we get to when we get to the end of the show after the news. But yeah, man, we're gonna be poor. We're gonna be poor, and if we're married, we're gonna be have to apologize. I don't care though. It's some great stuff coming to 4K. Captain Blood. This is one I've never seen. Directed by Michael Curtiz. Michael Curtiz, obviously, I've heard of him. Caught by the Tides. This is one I've also never seen. The Dead. This one, John Huston's The Dead. I'm ashamed to say I haven't seen that, but I haven't. Now, this one I have seen, Birth. I actually own this one digitally, one of the rare films I own digitally, but it was like $3. Jonathan Glazer directed this. I've always really loved the tone of this movie and the way it kind of like makes me feel like, even though like what it's about, it's so philosophical. I hate the end of it. I really do. It almost ruins the entire film. But I'm gonna rewatch it when it comes to 4K Blu-ray because I really enjoy it for the most part. The entire movie, it just feels like it's a cop out at the very end of it. But I really like Birth. I also really like Jonathan Glazer as a director. I love his style. It's like a very clean look. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the movie Sexy Beast, but I like Jonathan Glazer and I really enjoy a lot of his work. So this is one that I will get on 4K Blu-ray day one. It's one of the rare ones for me, I guess. I would also recommend Birth. This movie is a very sad movie about grief. Yeah. Oh my God. I actually watched that on the Criterion channel. Yeah, I watched Birth for the first time last year. I bought it, like I said, it was like digitally for like $3. I just wanted to watch all of Jonathan Glazer's movies. Obviously, you know why. So I like he kind of came back into the forefront. What was that, Zone of Madness or something like that? So he kind of came back into like the front, and I kind of was going down his films. And Grief was one Grief is something at the center of Birth, and it broke me, this movie, especially in the beginning of the film. If that, the age of these people, if that doesn't like send your heart, like it literally sends your heart into like fear. I don't know. Well, yeah, I wasn't a fan of the ending either. It's the only thing. It's like if they fully committed to like what the rest of the movie was, I think the movie would honestly be a 5-star film because everything before that is perfect. Someone at Criterion really has a thing for Kidman. LOL. Yeah, isn't this look exactly like the other poster for most of the posters of the films that she's in? She's like front and center and takes up most of the most of the front of the cover. Like literally, this looks exactly like 2 of the other Criterion releases of her films, and that's ridiculous. But hey, it's Nicole Kidman, and she does a great job in most of the movies that she's in. But yeah, she's front and center in this one. I think, is there any more? Yeah, nope, that's it, I believe. So we've hit all of the Criterion releases for January. There was also, let's look at some other stuff. Let's see. Now you get to get me front and center. And sorry if I'm a little, if I sound a little nasally. I wouldn't say I have a cold, but I guess allergies, and it's been a little bit. The weather up here has been a little bit shitty to say the least. Let's talk also about what we were talking about right at the front of this. Where is it? The Blues Brothers 4K Steelbook coming out. Now, this is a different 4K Steelbook than we had previously released because we did get a 4K Steelbook for the Blues Brothers in the past. We've gotten the Blues Brothers not only on standard edition, but also on 4K Steelbook. Now, what makes this unique, and I just found this out today from Rico Gomez, who emailed me, this was used to promote the film only when the film came out back in the day. I think he might have said just in Chicago, but it might have been worldwide. But this is the poster art that they were using at the time, and apparently it had not been seen since. So that's pretty cool. I actually like little things like that. And I actually have never gotten the Blues Brothers on 4K Blu-ray, and it's been very cheap in the past. And I don't know what has stopped me from actually doing that, but I really should get that. And maybe this will be the thing that finally gets me to, because I mean, why not at this point? Like, that is a beautiful looking 4K Steelbook, in my opinion, and looks better. And I don't know, how do you guys feel about the Blues Brothers? I've never been the biggest fan of it, but it is the Blues Brothers. It's a classic for a reason, but maybe I should check it out finally again. What do you guys think of this 4K Steelbook? I think it looks pretty nice. I got tired waiting for Lionsgate Dogma, so I just ordered Umbrella's release yesterday. I don't think you can go wrong either way. Both of them are feature Buddy Jesus. Both of them look really nice. So I think that you're fine, no matter which version you chose to get. Image file. Here's one that's right on the thumbnail. Possession. Now, I had just watched this for the first time a couple of weeks ago, actually, on the Criterion channel. I had never seen Possession before. This came out in the early 1980s. Stars Sam Neill, and my God, made me feel so old because look how quick life is. Sam Neill looks like a baby in this movie. The man, when I watched Jurassic Park, whatever one he was in a couple of years ago, he would look like an old man. Like, and that's not that long. The 80s don't feel that long ago, even though I wasn't even alive in the 80s. They don't feel like they're that long ago. But seeing Sam Neill in this movie, like, I was like, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe how young he was. He was a child, in my opinion, in this movie. And this movie, it's fantastic. If you're a fan of like David Lynch films, I would say this is like right in line with a good David Lynch film. It's like very, not everything is going to get explained to you. It almost feels like three different movies, like the way the tone is, the way it starts off, it just feels like a drama, like a domestic drama, like a couple going through a divorce, finding out that someone's cheating on you. Then it like ends up almost like in this like cult-like film, and almost the world thing. You like almost wouldn't believe where it starts and ends. It's a fantastic film with some beautiful, and like this captures like the color of the movie. It sucked all the color out of the film. It's got like this blue-gray look to the entire thing. And I love it. Like, I might actually grab this 4K Blu-ray. I wanted to check, and it's funny because I was gonna grab the 4K Blu-ray that you can get right now. I'm not too sure what studio that is, but I decided, you know what, might as well wait for the second site release. I'll probably end up going with the standard edition, but I'm pretty happy with it. They're also doing a release for Reanimator, and which is pretty cool because I thought that it was gonna be just what we got. It sounds romantic. Oh yeah, it'll make you really appreciate marriage. Let me tell you that. Oh my God. And I don't even know who's worse, like, in their marriage. Is it Sam Neill or is it the girl? I'm drawing a blank on the actress's name, but yeah, Sam Neill, he's not a great husband either. Even though she's cheating on him, he's not really the best. Like, I'm, rocking in that chair and all. He's losing his mind, and I don't blame him, but who's losing their mind more? Well, I think we'll have to do a spoiler review of Possession, because I might already be saying too much, but I'm very, very excited for it. So that's a big one that's coming out. So that's all like the big news. I think that's everything that was like I had on the list of stuff before we got into the calendar to see what we have coming out for the rest of the year. Because I did want to talk to you guys about all that. I guess we could look at Reanimators. I'll convert that image real quick so we could look at that. Quick actions. I know this stuff. I should have been. I thought it would work earlier. So this is what Reanimator looks like coming from Second Sight. Or like, it looks pretty good in my opinion. I don't know, you guys. Are you going to do deluxe or standard? I'll probably do standard. I usually do standard for most of their stuff. It just saves me a little bit of money. I think it's only $30, which is fair. And everything I already have from Second Sight, I've gotten the standard. One day I would love to get their collector's editions, but I like to buy as much 4K Blu-rays as I can. So if I could save a little money, this is the kind of route I usually take. I hope Criterion gets the domestic rights to Possession, but I think it's going to be Kino Lorber. I think it's going to be Kino Lorber too, and it'll just probably be the same scan. Who did the last one, and what area was that for Possession? I'm not entirely sure, but the other 4K Blu-ray, which you can buy just off of Amazon and in the United States, and it's like $30, which is, I guess that's a pretty fair price. But now I'll just get the Second Sight edition more than likely. It's the same thing I did with Like usually, if I'm gonna get stuff from like It Follows, got the Lionsgate limited release. I already had the second site release, so I just stuck with the standard edition of that since it's the same scan anyway. So usually I'll go with a standard edition if it's available, just to save a little bit of money. And to follow up on that, if you guys remember last week what we were talking about and how Boogie Nights was coming to 4K Blu-ray, we haven't had that pop up anywhere since. So even if you look up the Amazon link, it's gone. It's still gone. You can't pre-order Boogie Nights from anywhere yet except for those 4K steelbooks, the UK editions from like the movie room and stuff like that, or Orbit, and that's like $50. So I'm just gonna still wait for one of the releases to go to Groove. It'll definitely end up on Groove at some point, but it's crazy how we were talking about that last week and it still hasn't popped up again. I tend to get standards lately, just trying to keep up. Movie is more important thing to me, and yeah, it used to be. I'm sure you guys remember in the early days of 4K Blu-ray. Um, we used to get not that many each week. Like we'd get like one or two a week, and they weren't necessarily like the biggest movies. They're usually from like the regular studios, and then like the boutique labels really started to kick in. And then lately, it's like a flood of 4K Blu-rays now, to the point because of the price of 4K Blu-rays, we can't even afford them all. So we have to really pick and choose. And like even some movies you might really want on 4K Blu-ray, you can't afford right now, and that really does suck. And it used to not be like that. I don't know if I was talking to you, somebody in the chat, or somebody else recently about how remember going in like Best Buy and you could just pick up like 4 Blu-rays, and like Blu-rays back in the day, like you can see me even behind me, they all looked the same. Like there was nothing really special about the packaging for the most part. Like you really just got the film, so you can like go in there and buy like four or five Blu-rays, like maybe recent releases for like $30, and like you just wanted the movie and you wanted the upgrade. Now a nice collector's edition is like $50, and you have to justify it to yourself. And even like now in the United States, at least, we might not even get the option of a 4K Blu-ray in a standard edition. We'd just be forced to get the steelbook, and even be forced to get the steelbook and hope it doesn't sell out. That's the other ridiculous thing. Like you can't even just go and buy it like a week later after it comes out, or hope for it to come out on sale. You just have to grab it and hope that that's it, and you grab it. And that really does suck. I really don't like that. I don't like that you have to play the waiting game with physical media. It never was like that, and it really bothers me. It kind of caught up to us. Boogie Nights is driving me crazy. I bet it will sell out on Groove on the first day. It's driving me nuts too. I'm telling you, my phone recognizes that I've been looking for it so much that I just type in G now on like Google doesn't pop up. Groove pops up because I've been looking like every like couple hours to see if it pops up on there so I can pre-order the steelbook. But even if I can just get the standard edition at this point, I'm like you. This is basically the Boogie Nights waiting room right now. Yeah, is it going to ever happen or what? I don't know what's going on with that. It had, because it did have a press release on Blu-ray.com, I believe, or at least Blu-ray.com reported on it. And they're the ones who usually share the Amazon links. And there hasn't been them sharing the Amazon links for Boogie Nights for this. It just says pre-order coming soon. So, I understand that. It's kind of the same thing that happened with Jarhead. If you look on Groove right now, Jarhead's on there, but we saw the images for the 4K Blu-ray, the Steelbook, a couple of weeks ago. It's not coming out to December, so they got plenty of time to like get those pre-orders out. It's just that we're really playing the waiting game now, and when is it going to happen? I know a lot of us don't want to miss out on the Steelbook in comparison to the standard edition, and I'm hoping it's priced fairly. Like $30 would be perfect. Imagine we get a $25 4K standard edition and a $30 steelbook. I'd probably be like 35 and 30, but still, that would be pretty nice on Groove. So I'm waiting to see on that. I know you guys are, so hopefully it's coming pretty soon. I'm tired of checking. I just want to pre-order that. I have the money in the account waiting. It's Boogie Nights. It's set aside for that. Other stuff can wait. I don't necessarily need everything right now, but I want Boogie Nights. Speaking of which, I guess we should probably get into the calendar, right, and see what that's all about. I'm going to use the Canadian, what that's all about. So let's do that. I'm going to go to Blu-ray.com and I'll share the link, and we'll go down the list and look at what's coming out starting like next week. I think this is becoming one of my favorite things to do here on the channel. Just look at all this stuff, go down the entire calendar of 4K Blu-rays and take a look and share it with you guys. So we'll share it, come back over here to see what you guys are chatting about. All right. Share the screen. Sorry for being a little congested. It's the weather, man. It's mid-October. It's nothing we can do. Allergies, work, it's just what it is. So you guys can see right here, look at that. It says end of days already on sale. You can get the steelbook of To Catch a Thief, which is a very good film. Right now, that is $13.99. That 4K is really good as well. $13.99 is a steal. $27 for the standard edition of Fallout 4. We didn't talk about Perfect Blue, which is right here. Perfect Blue is coming to 4K Blu-ray. It's $79 fucking dollars. My God, is there a standard edition of that? I forgot to even put that in the chat, but that is crazy. Holy hell. $78. Is there not a standard edition? Am I going crazy? I love Perfect Blue. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Perfect Blue is a great anime from it says it right there, right? What year? 1997. Shout Factory is doing that release. It says that is a crazy price for the collector's edition, though. That is nuts. I like Perfect Blue, but I won't spend $79 on it. That's just way too much money. Can't really justify something at that kind of money. But let's go continuing down on the list. $35 for the Amount of Madness, which isn't even officially released yet. That seems pretty high. 4K release calendar. So where are we? So we can find out where. So we are here right now. We are October 14th, 2025. I got my Mission Impossible 4K Blu-rays yesterday. I already watched that. I'll have a review out and a ranking of that for you guys pretty soon. Weapons, I got the standard edition. I'm just waiting for that to come along with Rocky Horror Picture Show from Atomic Movie Store. So I haven't gotten that yet. Should be coming pretty soon. Looking forward to that, by the way. I've heard good things. I haven't heard great things necessarily about the scam, but I'm just excited to check out Weapons again, and I'm sure it's going to at least be a somewhat beautiful looking 4K Blu-ray. Jacob's Ladder, I got that in the other room. As soon as the show is over, I'm going to make dinner, and we're going to check out Jacob's Ladder on 4K Blu-ray. The Steelbook, I mean, the picture doesn't even do it justice. Tim Robinson's face is lifted up, so is this cage behind him. It's a really cool looking 4K Steelbook. Of course, Lionsgate Limited, they don't let us down. The Devil's Rejects 4K Steelbook, I know people are excited about that. I've never been the biggest Rob Zombie fan, so I can never really justify grabbing the Devil's Rejects. I like House of a Thousand Corpses the most in that Firefly trilogy. Then I'll actually put Three from Hell at number 2 and probably put the Devil's Rejects at number 3, which I know to the Rob Zombie fans might be a little sacrilege, but that's just how I feel. What is Perfect Blue about? So Perfect Blue is basically a story about a pop star, like an up and coming pop star, and like the pressures of fame like coming down on her. It's I've only seen it one time, but it gets compared a lot to what's that movie, Black Swan? Yeah, was it Black Swan against Red Shoes? It's very similar to that in those kinds of movies. It's just so in those kinds of in the vein of that, like the pressures of like the strain of like becoming a celebrity essentially as well, all that pushing down on somebody. That's what the basic premise I would say is the Perfect Blue. I want the Big Blue from Luc Besson, but the Steelbook is too much. Hoping Sony will do a single release. Hopefully they do that. There's plenty of I hated that when they lock things behind those collector's editions. Like I have a lot of the Sony's Pictures. I have the Sony's Pictures Classics 4K collection that came out a couple years ago for its anniversary, and a lot of those films haven't gotten solo 4K Blu-ray releases, which is crazy because there's some beautiful 4K Blu-ray releases, and they're like Orlando and Schenectady, New York on 4K Blu-ray are stunning. They're Sony releases, and they're still locked behind walls. Black Swan and I think Requiem for a Dream had a reference to Perfect Blue. Yeah, I guess Requiem for a Dream is another one, that's a very tough rewatch. I think the only reason I really want Perfect Blue is I haven't seen it in so long. And a 4K Blu-ray is probably, if I haven't seen it, might as well justify myself grabbing that 4K Blu-ray. This is kind of what they have done from the start. Save space and no cardboard disc and holder stuff. Yeah, this is I agree. That's exactly what they should be doing. Just help us out a little bit, help the collectors out. So continuing, I've seen people have gotten their Curse of Frankenstein 4K Blu-rays, and those look beautiful in those collector's editions. Maybe I'll probably regret not grabbing that. We'll have to wait and see. I'm sure it's a beautiful 4K. Eyes Without a Face, Asylum. There's the Back to the Future 4K Steelbooks that have come out. The Alfred Hitchcock collection, that's pretty awesome as well. What is that going for right now? Let me see. Off of $125 on Amazon. I believe that's just the Alfred Hitchcock collections that they had already previously released Universal. So the 1, 2, and 3. I think that's just all those discs. I don't think there's any difference. I just need to make sure I grab volume 3 before they go out of print, because they just want to try and guide you to that whole collection, which will drive me nuts. But it might happen. It also has North by North. Oh, does it have North by Northwest? Well, I have North by Northwest in that. I already have that separated. But not To Catch a Thief. Well, To Catch a Thief is because that's Paramount, I believe. That's kind of one thing that sucks with like all of Alfred Hitchcock's films. He made films for other studios, so we won't be able to get all of his films from one place. I think even stuff is like the Criterion Collection has the rights to it, so it makes it even harder on us. What else we got in here? Baskin 4K, The Lord of the Rings 4K re-release, Knock Knock 4K, and then you come to October 21st, and A History of Violence in Altered States and Eddington on 4K Blu-ray. I have all 3 of those coming next week. I already know that In Transit, A History of Violence in Altered States. Can't wait to check those ones out. I've never seen Altered States. A History of Violence is great. Eddington is one of the best films of the year. Can't wait to rewatch that. I know people are excited about the 79 Nosferatu 4K Blu-ray release. I did not get the Place Beyond the Pines 4K Blu-ray release. I'll wait for a sale on that. It's Shout Select, and they've disappointed me with their transfers this year and their lazy releases. So I already have Place Beyond the Pines on Blu-ray. I want the 4K, but I'll probably wait a little while. I don't know how you guys feel about that movie. Uh, I think it's a pretty good film, very underrated film, actually. If I'm being honest, another one that's coming out next week, and I thought it was supposed to come out this week, is Rampage. Rampage is directed by William Friedkin. Actually, stars Michael Biehn. I would say that movie's half good. The unrated cut is pretty good as well, and that's going to have both cuts of the movie. Either way, or I don't think it's a perfect film. It's a good Friedkin film, but not a perfect film. Clue 4K Steelbook release. Now, this has already had a 4K Blu-ray release. This is just a Steelbook reprint, so that's pretty cool if you want the Steelbook. The X trilogy coming to 4K Blu-ray. That's X, Pearl, and Maxine. 3 films by Ty West. I can't wait to get those on 4K Blu-ray. I was holding out. I think if you go back to the beginning of this channel, or at least when Pearl came out, I would said that Pearl, once we get past Maxine and the entire trilogy comes out, because they started talking about Maxine at the very end of Pearl. Like, you got to the end of the Pearl and they had the trailer for Maxine, or at least showing the Maxine logo. They kind of were hinting at that, so I knew that this trilogy was going to be coming out eventually, and if we held out long enough, we would get this United States release of the entire trilogy on 4K Blu-ray, even though Second Sight's doing their own as well, just without, unfortunately, which one is it? I think without X, or no, without Pearl. No, is it Maxine? It's one of them. They're not getting one of them. It might be X because of the rights, but I'm excited for that. What's Insomniac says, I got the Hitchcock collection on DVD for $20, so I'm good. Hey, you can't beat that. And I know that my cousin Dennis, you guys see on the morning show, he got the previous Alfred Hitchcock collection on Blu-ray, so there's no reason for him to upgrade as well. I want a special big box set of Godfather, same director as Perfect Blue. That would be awesome. I mean, I have already the Godfather, but I wouldn't mind upgrading from what I have. I mean, that 4K Blu-ray, I didn't love the cardboard on it to begin with. I knew that was going to get some wear and tear on it. It's already looking like that. Kyle Jenkins, that is my brother-in-law. What's up, buddy? Glad you could pop in there. That's my sister's brother. That picture of you looks a little bit old. Still cool, but looks a little old. Let's see. Waiting to order the X trilogy, but I only really like Pearl. Dang it. You don't like X? Listen, I understand people not liking Maxine, but the next time you watch Maxine, because I didn't love Maxine either, watch Body Double, directed by Brian De Palma. I think that might make you appreciate Maxine a little bit more. I feel like that was the biggest influence on Maxine, and Body Double and American Gigolo, especially. I feel like those movies, watch them, then watch Maxine. I think you might appreciate Maxine a little bit more, and like the big reveal at the end. You know, I think it's supposed to be a little bit silly and unbelievable. Maybe I need to rewatch. Exactly. And then, you know what's good for a rewatch? The 4Ks. I do agree, though. Pearl is by far the best of the 3 movies. I think it goes Pearl X Maxine. I'm still not going to say Maxine's the best, but I think it goes Pearl X Maxine. X is great. X is a great slasher just in general. It's not going to change anything or, you know, turn any heads, but I think Maya Goth's performance in Pearl is something special. So I think I give the edge to Pearl over all 3 of them. And if you're just going to watch one, maybe pick up the Second Sight 4K Blu-ray release of Pearl, because that way you can just buy them separate anyway. And if you already have X and Maxine on Blu-ray, hell, why not? Any way to save any money, I say. I think that's always the way to go. Queen of the Damned is great. I agree. Queen of the Damned is a great horror film. Doesn't have a 4K Blu-ray release. That poster always stuck out to me, though, at Blockbuster. Continuing on, like, what else do we got in here? The Superman Collection re-release on 4K Blu-ray. Savages on 4K Blu-ray, directed by Oliver Stone. Continuing to October 28th, I know that my In the Mouth of Madness 4K Blu-ray is in transit. I should get that pretty soon. That's also the same week we get Edward Scissorhands and Nightmare Alley on 4K Blu-ray. I got both of those pre-ordered. Nightmare Alley, this is going to come with the black and white, the new, I think they're calling it the Noir edition. No, definitely not. That was X-Men. Logan, rather. I don't know what they're calling that, but either way, or we're getting the new black and white edition of Nightmare Alley. I think Nightmare Alley is hugely underrated. That's a fantastic Guillermo del Toro film. I love the relationship with Guillermo del Toro with the Criterion Collection. They just have a great working relationship. I love it. We've gotten pretty much all of his films on 4K Blu-ray. I doubt they're doing Blade 2, but I can dream, can I? I think a lot of us would appreciate that. So continuing on down. Uh, what's up, John? Hey, William Driver made it in. What's up, John? Just got the Devil's Rejects Steelbook. I hope you enjoy it. I just was talking about the Devil's Rejects and how I'm not the world's biggest fan. I hope you're excited, though, buddy. Just upgraded Queen of the Damned. Got tired of waiting for a 4K. LOL. Hey, I don't blame you. Like, is it gonna happen or not? I feel like that's a movie that would have come from like Vinegar Syndrome or Shout at some point. It's actually kind of a surprise it hasn't. With the amount of time I saw that on DVD, it's crazy. I felt like everybody had the Queen of the Damned DVD, so I feel like it would just be justifiable to get that on 4K Blu-ray just because of the amount of people who love that movie. But hey, I don't know. What am I talking about? We'll have to wait and see. So also, this is Aba Ferreira's Miss 45 4K from Arrow Video. That actually is on the Criterion channel. I've never seen that, so I'm going to check that out before I pick up the 4K Blu-ray, make sure I like it. Sometimes that's a good thing about having a streaming service. Catch 22 on 4K. I've never seen that. Shin Godzilla. I know people are really excited about that 4K Blu-ray. That's the Godzilla that came out before the last Godzilla film. The one that people really fell in love with. But Shin Godzilla, if I remember, was a pretty good film. I only saw that the one time as well. Arcane. I'm season 2. Never seen Arcane. Death Wish 3 on 4K. I was gonna grab that, but I was like, I could buy that some other time. I'm not the world's biggest Death Wish 3 fan. Dust Devil, people are excited about. This is the week we get Saw 3 and 4 on 4K Blu-ray. I'd love to see them, and 2 as well. Glad to see them concentrating on that. Trick or Treats 4K Steelbook. Toxic Avengers coming out that day as well. My God, Halloween 3's 4K Steelbook. This is an awesome one, by the way. I love the design of that. Hush 4K Steelbook. So my God, it just goes on and on for October 28th. The double pack of the original Toxic Avenger from 1984 and the 2023 Toxic Avenger. Like I said, I would like to grab that, but there is just so much coming out at the end of October. It's actually stunning. Queen of the Dam sounds perfect for Arrow Video. Arrow Video, yeah, that's probably right up their alley, right? I love Devil's Rejects and House of a Thousand Corpses. Not so much Three from Hell. I really like Three from Hell. I would actually put House of a Thousand Corpses at number 1. But Three from Hell, I think I understand. I can see what happened with Sid, but I still think it's a pretty good movie, and I think it's a little bit more focused than people give it credit for. And Rob Zombie, I'm not a big Rob Zombie guy, so maybe that's why I kind of like my order of like how I'd rank his films is a little bit abnormal. I literally would probably say House of a Thousand Corpses and 31 are his 2 best films. And I mean, I sat through his fucking Monsters movie, and that was hell. I didn't think that movie was good at all. But now let's look at November. So Hard Boiled. I had to get this one. I actually pre-ordered it from Shout Factory. I couldn't wait to get this one on 4K Blu-ray. I'm really excited about that. John Woo's masterpiece. I already had pre-ordered The Breakfast Club on 4K Blu-ray. I haven't seen it in years. I'm not the world's biggest Breakfast Club fan. That is my father's favorite film now, so definitely cool to rewatch that one. It is a John Hughes movie, so hey, maybe I'll love it this time around. Who knows? I've seen it so many times, though. Coda, a Best Picture winner, coming to 4K Blu-ray. That's Apple, so that's pretty cool to see them doing that. The Naked Gun, the original on 4K Blu-ray. Vampires getting a 4K Steelbook. Cheech and Chong's last movie. The Howling getting a 4K Steelbook. Do not like that. SS Experiment Love Camp 4K. That is crazy. Sounds insane. Can't believe that's getting a 4K Blu-ray release. But hey, what the hell do I know? William says, I like Three from Hell, but my problem is Sherry Moon in that one. Sherry Moon is not a great actress. I wish I could say she was. I really appreciate her effort. I appreciate Rob Zombie's love for his wife, but I just do not think that she is a great actress either. She's just who she is. Unfortunately, like she's trying. I'll give her credit for trying, but she's just not that great in my opinion. She's okay in some performances, but when you put her as the center and the lead, it never really works. But he's gonna do that. Just a great husband. Everyone's releasing vampires now. You've got to pick. I just get the Shout. It doesn't cost much and looks great. You know what? That's probably the one I'll end up getting. Is just the original standard edition of Vampires from Shout. I do want to end up getting it because I do want to have a complete collection of John Carpenter's movies on 4K Blu-ray. Even though I'm not a big fan of The Ward and Ghosts of Mars, like if The Ward gets a 4K Blu-ray release, I will probably get it. I just want to eventually have all of his movies because we've been very fortunate so far when it comes to John Carpenter. Most of his movies have been released on 4K Blu-ray. In the Mouth of Madness coming to 4K Blu-ray pretty soon is like it's you never thought you'd see the day that that would come to 4K Blu-ray. I actually didn't realize until I had a YouTube channel that other people even liked In the Mouth of Madness. I thought that was something that I liked and not many other people did. I was like, oh wow, there's other fans of this movie. That's crazy. Rob Zombie, I like. His wife's acting drives me crazy. You know, you can never accuse the guy of not loving his wife, which is, you know, something you can admire. I just wish his wife was a better actress. You'd think by now she'd at least accidentally get good. I'm dying for Big Trouble in Little China on 4K. It's got to be coming. That feels like an Arrow Blu-ray release. It has to happen at some point. I can't believe it hasn't happened. That's such a beloved film. Not one of my personal Carpenter favorites, but so many people love it. Have you seen the prequel for the thing? Is it any good? It's all right. They, you know, what was one of the big charms of the original thing? It was that those practical effects. Well, now they start to rely too much on CGI. The story's actually pretty interesting because if you know it's a prequel, actually it's pretty cool. It's pretty clever. It's like that one Final Destination film, how it leads right into the original. Pretty cool. Great idea. Execution wise, it's I think it's an over exaggeration to say it's an awful film. It's just more of an all right film. It's not one that I'll probably ever revisit if I'm being honest. If you got a 4K Blu-ray release, maybe you can push me in that direction. But other than that, I'm fine with never seeing it again. The Vampires 4K from Scream is great also, so I should just probably get that one. I got to jump on that John Carpenter series on Criterion Channel. There's still a lot I haven't seen from him. Oh, really? I can pretty much recommend all of his films except for The Ward and Ghosts of Mars. What's The Return of the Invisible Man? That one's actually a little bit underrated. I haven't seen that one in years, but that I know is on the Criterion Channel. Everything he did in the 80s is good to great. Assault on Precinct 13, his version is it's shocking, but it's also a fantastic film. I actually believe, and me and David will get to this. I don't think Halloween is his best film. I still think The Thing is his best film overall. I don't know. I think my John Carpenter rankings have changed. I'm waiting to do a big John Carpenter ranking with all of his 4K Blu-rays when I eventually get them all. But I think he's a fantastic director, but I don't think he has a perfect catalog of films. I just love him. I have to admit it, but I have a soft spot for Ghosts of Mars. Listen, I understand. I won't knock anyone for liking Ghosts of Mars. There's plenty of movies like that I like that other people don't like, so I understand. Ghosts of Mars was a tough one. It's not The Ward, though. It's still better than The Ward. The Ward makes me sick. I can't. That's going to be his last film. It bothers me. Dark Star, early Carpenter, getting a 4K in the UK, I believe. Never seen it. That one feels very low budget. That's the film he did before Assault on Precinct 13. I might get the 4K just to have it, but that's one where it's like he's trying. Like it's not really that great, but it's like it's still his I think it's his first. Starman's fantastic. That has a great 4K Blu-ray release. Great. That has a solo 4K Blu-ray release. I made sure I had to have an entire Columbia Classics collection just because of Starman. Then I got a solo release, like I think right after I bought them, but I'm still glad to have it. The Ghost of Mars 4K is great. Never seen The Ward. I have the Blu-ray on my shelf of The Ward. You're going to be really disappointed by it. And a 4K is not going to save that because it's like a colorless movie as it is. It looks cheap. It feels cheap. And the acting is cheap. It's terrible. It brings me no joy to say that to you folks. As if somebody who loves John Carpenter to say that The Ward is terrible, it must be pretty damn terrible, and it really is bad, and that does suck. Continuing in November, though, guys. So we just did this. We're on to the 11th. Now I keep waiting, and I keep enough money in my checking account because Arrow Video will not ship the order till the very end if you don't have the money there when they decide to ship it, which could be any day. The Mask on 4K Blu-ray from Arrow Video. This is one of my all-time most anticipated 4K Blu-ray releases. I know not everybody loves The Mask, but I am literally a huge fan of The Mask. Like I fanboy over The Mask a little bit too much. If you go back to my early childhood days, The Mask was a very important film for me. To the point, I think I told the story on this show, but for those who haven't heard, it's still pretty funny. I had a person who used to come to my house when I was a young child, like a young teacher for me. She was like, so when I was like 4 or 5 years old, because I have a vision problem, so somebody who like helps you with that. So she came to my house and she remembered me. Like at my current Joe job, she came up to the counter. She's like, "You probably don't remember me." And she's like, "It was like 30 years ago. I was a teacher of yours." I was like, "Oh, really?" And she's like, "Yeah, I always remember you because you were such a big fan of that. What's that movie called? The one with that comedian." I'm like, "The Mask." And she's like, "Yeah, The Mask. You always talked about it. You loved it." So I was a huge fan of The Mask from childhood, and to this very day, it's still a movie I absolutely love, and I think Cuban Pete is the best musical scene of all time. I've yet to meet anyone that likes it. Now I got to go see it. I recommend it. I grabbed U571 and then Das Boot gets here. Das Boot is a classic. I need to grab that one on 4K. So yeah, that's why I'm so excited for the Mask Reanimator. And that's when I might finally get that. I already paid for my One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I got this 4K Steelbook. Finally pulled the trigger on that over the standard edition. I might grab Spotlight. I'm not 100% on it. House Party, I'm waiting to see if that's in the Criterion sale. If it's not in the Criterion sale in November, which we're expecting from Barnes and Noble, I'm just gonna buy House Party on 4K Blu-ray. I think that's awesome. You guys have been talking about the Luc Besson set. You know, that has some movies that haven't come to 4K Blu-ray yet in the solo edition. We have gotten two different versions, a Sony and a second sight version of The Fifth Element, which is absolutely insane. Uh, let's see. So that's one I'm pretty excited about. I just don't know if I can smoke it. Yeah, the Mask, love it. So I don't know. I kind of want that Luc Besson set, but I have already everything that they've released on 4K on its own. So I don't think I can justify getting that. Just hope the rest get their own solo 4K steelbook releases, or at least standard editions together. This might be when I finally get together and see it for the first time, because missed out on it in theaters, so I might just get the 4K Blu-ray and do like a blind buy on that one. Snowden, another Oliver Stone 4K Blu-ray coming from the Shout Select brand. That's pretty cool. I might end up grabbing it just to have all the Oliver Stone movies on 4K Blu-ray, even though I think Snowden's a good movie. I just didn't think it was great. Spinal Tap 2, that's pretty cool. Right there is where you guys see U571, a re-release, I believe, of The Grinch Is How I Stole Christmas. Ted Lasso coming to 4K Blu-ray is awesome. Downton Abbey coming to 4K Blu-ray. That's, I guess, the new movie. Him's 4K Steelbook looks pretty cool. A Scarface re-release in a collector's edition. Wicked on 4K Steelbook. Any Wicked fans out there? I still haven't seen Wicked, and I don't know if I'm going to see Wicked and see the new one in theaters. I don't really know. Not a big musical guys, as you know, musical fan, as you guys know, and I just don't think Wicked is going to be something that, you know, appeals to me. Five Nights at Freddy's. I know there's a lot of fans of that, so that's pretty cool. And Cafe Flesh on 4K. What's that? I don't really know, if I'm being honest. So anyway, continuing on, I've been waiting to get that 4K for The Fifth Element, but I heard one is better than the other. Yes, so the second sight version is the better one, and it is a beautiful looking 4K Blu-ray. I'm not even gonna. Is it second sight or Studio Canal? It's Studio Canal, I believe, but either way, that's the better than the Sony version. So the Sony version is the one you don't get. It's a beautiful looking 4K. As you know, The Fifth Element. It's a beautiful looking film, very colorful. So of course, it appeals to the 4K Blu-ray format more than most do. At least in my opinion, you know, of course. But that's what I always heard. I always like everyone always agrees with the Studio Canal. So yeah, the Studio Canal version, that's the one that most people will also say. Cape Flesh is a dystopian movie about people who can't have sex or they get very sick, but they like to watch. Okay, well, sounds like a movie that's something I probably wouldn't check out. When is Stonehaven and Earth getting a 4K? When is Stone's Heaven and Earth getting a 4K? I'm sure it'll eventually get a 4K. We've been getting everything else from him. James Gray says Amazon order of NOS 4K Steelbook collection. Still remaining orders. See anything new on that? So you're talking about the Nightmare on Elm Street 4K Steelbook collection. So as long as your order hasn't been canceled, I say just hold out. Do not touch the order. If you don't hear anything from Amazon in like a week or two, probably give them a call and find out what the deal is and be like, are you going to ship this to me or not? I assume they have to have some extra ones lying around and anyway, eventually for replacements for people who had them get damaged, because it's Amazon doing the deliveries. Mine got here perfectly fine. I can honestly say nothing scratched, but there's going to be someone, I have to believe, that had it like fall, break, anything happens, and then they have to have some extras lying around for that. Like, what happens if you get yours and it's messed up? Like, you just, oh, sorry, here's your refund. Like, I don't think that's acceptable when people are waiting a long time for that. So hopefully yours ships soon, buddy. I don't want you to have to wait longer. That does kind of suck, though. And like I said, I really don't like how Warner Bros. And Amazon handle the entire rollout of the Nightmare on Elm Street collection when it comes to the Steelbook collection. The standard edition, you guys will see my review for my final review, my final verdict on that tomorrow. But since you guys are in here, I'll give you a little bit. I probably would have gone with the standard edition, honestly, gun to my head. Like, if I could do it all over again, I think the standard edition was more than fine. Like, I think the Steelbook collection, the way they handled that, really did disappoint me. And I really hate that people who really wanted it weren't able to get it, because, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street fans, you know, we really do appreciate the movie, so we want them in the best condition. I really think they should have done a better job with that. At the very end of November, right here on the 18th, which is not the very end of November. The Better Tomorrow trilogy coming to 4K Blu-ray as well. Hell's Angels, that's pretty cool. The Airport Collection, Red Planet, Out of Africa, which I'm gonna probably end up getting because I want to make sure I have every Best Picture winner that's released on 4K Blu-ray on 4K Blu-ray. So Out of Africa being that, I need to have it in my collection. Same thing with Anora, waiting for that Criterion sale to grab that. Paul on 4K, never thought I'd see the day. L 4K, Howard's End 4K. Casino's 4K Steelbook re-release. I already have it, so I won't grab that. Don't love the artwork. Looks a little AI to me. Rent on 4K from 2005. Pulp Fiction's 4K Steelbook. That's a re-release through Lionsgate Limited, I believe. You Ultraman, the Fantasy. What is that? The Fantasy what? Touchstone? And the Americans 4K. So that's all the November 18th. And before we come into like Thanksgiving week, which a lot of good stuff coming out of this week. Obviously, the big one being Eyes Wide Shut, a Stanley Kubrick. This is one that a lot of us have been waiting for to come to 4K Blu-ray. Coming out at the perfect time, too, as we're rolling into Christmas. This very much is a Christmas time kind of movie. A very fucked up one, but still kind of Christmas time. Pride and Prejudice 4K Blu-ray. I actually want to click on this. All right, so it just says 4K right now, but I believe this is going to be the exact same disc that came in Columbia Classic, so I'll already have that on 4K Blu-ray if I'm correct. Conjuring Last Rites 4K Blu-ray. Somebody told me that was pretty good. I still need to check that out. Someone who I trust with horror, so I got to give that one a rewatch. Give that one a watch at some point. Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein on 4K. Sleepless 4K. Sisters, the one that's not directed by Brian De Palma 4K. That's another Pride and Prejudice 4K Steelbook, I believe. Alec Guinness Masterpieces. Tromeo and Juliet on 4K. That's Vinegar Syndrome. That's so funny that that's getting a 4K Blu-ray release. What is that going to look like? That's such an ugly movie. It's so funny. Ruby 4K, another Abbott and Costello. That's where the Blues Brothers 4K Steelbook is coming out. So this one's just packed with a lot of stuff that the Boys Next Door, Depraved on 4K Blu-ray. So a lot of movies that I'm probably not necessarily going to grab on 4K in day one. I've got Better Tomorrow on pre-order. That's pretty freaking cool. You thinking of Sense of Oh my God, you're thinking of Sense and Sensibility, I bet. Yes, you're right. I am. I'm not thinking of Pride and Prejudice. Sensibility is exactly what I'm thinking of. I'm getting all tongue twisted on it now, as well. And even though I had The Keep on the thumbnail, so The Keep, which is another re-release of The Keep 4K from Vinegar Syndrome that came out earlier this year, I believe, on 4K Blu-ray. This is just coming out with a standard slipcover edition. They're promoting it that they're also releasing it with their partners, so like the Atomic Movie Store. And I'm probably going to grab this version of The Keep, if I'm being honest, since I haven't grabbed it yet. It's the cheapest it's been. The Keep, I've never really thought from the one time I saw it was a great movie. I didn't really feel the need to grab it like when it was expensive. And there was also a documentary about it coming out. I thought that was going to come out on one of these releases. It still isn't. So I might just end up grabbing this slipcover edition. I want to have all of Michael Mann's movies on 4K Blu-ray at some point, but The Keep wasn't the one I was really hoping we'd get. I'm still waiting for Manhunter and Last of the Mohegans and movies like that on 4K Blu-ray. Like Manhunter, that kills me. I need that on 4K Blu-ray at some point. So, hey, we're going to head on into the Christmas month of December where we got pretty much everything we know. The Killer, I pre-ordered that on 4K Blu-ray already. Really excited about The Killer. Wanted that 4K Steelbook. That's a re-release of 4K that's already been out there. His Girl Friday, that's one that I have in the Columbia Classics collection. So I'm guessing that's a similar scan, or at least maybe even the same scan. The House with the Laughing Windows, the Ninja Trilogy on 4K, The Sword and the Sorcerer on 4K Blu-ray. We talked about Wild Style on 4K, the People Under the Stairs, 4K Steelbook. This is a re-release again from a Wes Craven film. Might grab them, maybe. I doubt it, but who knows? Because I already have the Blu-ray, and I'm not the world's biggest fan of the People Under the Stairs. Dawn of the Dead, Steelbook, the 04 edition, Enter the Ninja, and Revenge of the Ninja on 4K Steelbook. My buddy over here, Arrow, needs to do Manhunter, right? Arrow, I mean, who did the Manhunter Blu-ray? That was Scream Factory, right? Actually, a good Blu-ray, but still, it needs a 4K Blu-ray. Boogie Nights, quick, add it to cart. Wait, what are you talking about? Is it up? Are we on Groove or are we on Amazon here? What are we talking about? Let me see. Quick, add it to cart. Are you trying to get me? Because I will look. I will look right now. Let's see. You're seeing it here live, and you're seeing it here first. Nope, I'm not seeing it. I still just have the dog. The and they get the cute dogs for it too. Really? Nope, still not out there, guys. I got you, John. You can get me because I'm telling you, I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm ready for whenever you got. Well, you know what? I got Edward Scissorhands because somebody in the chat told me that it went up, so I got lucky there. So I was hoping. December 9th. Catch Me If You Can, a Minority Report. I will be grabbing those on 4K Blu-ray. Haven't pre-ordered those yet. You can pre-order them on like the Atomic Movie Store. So those are pretty easy to get. I will get Airplane because it came out last year in the Zaz collection. Didn't grab the entire collection because I already had the Naked Gun on 4K Blu-ray. Didn't feel the need to have to upgrade just for to re-own that. And that also came out with another movie, and I was like, I can wait. So I'm glad I waited. My patience paid off. That's also the same week we're getting Boogie Nights, Anaconda. People are excited. I don't really care for Anaconda. The Gray 4K Steelbook. That's one I'm probably going to end up grabbing. Like I said, very underweight rated movie. Last week we talked about Top Secret. Was that the other one in the Zaz collection getting its own 4K solo store release right there? Awakenings. We talked about that last week, directed by Penny Marshall, coming out on 4K Blu-ray. So that I'm pretty excited about. You can pre-order that right now. Nacho Libre coming out on December 9th from Kino Lorber. Dead of Night 4K Blu-ray. Walking Tall. Man, that movie, I remember when The Rock was coming up as an actor and that movie coming out. I had to see it in theaters. It's all right. Johnny Knoxville's in that. That's getting a Kino Lorber 4K Blu-ray release. So we got those like early Rock movies now on 4K, The Rundown and Walking Tall. I had them on DVD. I don't think I ever need to own those again. Man, I hope Napoleon Dynamite is next to get 4K after this. Since they're the same director, I imagine I'm surprised too, because I would think Napoleon Dynamite has the bigger following, but not people like Nacho Libre enough. So I like Nacho Libre. I'm excited for that. I'm not going to pretend. I think Napoleon Dynamite does have a 4K digital version for sale. You're right. There is a digital version of Napoleon Dynamite, but I'm only going to buy that when we get we'll definitely get the physical release at some point. It could go in the Criterion collection. I mean, Pee-wee's, you could argue that Pee-wee's Big Adventure is something similar in the same like vein, like, you know, that they're very like niche comedies that aren't like the most popular. Yes, that's the one that made Tim Burton take off, but people like you had to, I'm sure you guys were there for the moment of Vote for Pedro and everything. When Napoleon Dynamite came out, that was like everyone was talking about. That's the word of mouth film that was so popular. Like, and people still talk about it. You still see Vote for Pedro shirts out there to this very day. December 16th, we get Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Pee-wee's Big Adventure. So, you know, kids of the 80s and 90s are going to be happy that day. I already have TMNT's entire trilogy pre-ordered. Cannot wait. Leaving Las Vegas, we talked about. Shout Select. I don't know if I can justify that. That's like a one-time watch. It's so depressing. Nicolas Cage is great, though. Won him his Academy Award. Dante's Peak is apparently finally actually happening after everything that happened earlier this year with it being on the schedule and some people even getting their 4K Blu-rays for it. It's finally officially going to be coming, the 4K Blu-ray from Kino Lorber. It's on the schedule. As long as nothing happens between now and December, what is this? December 16th. Everyone should be good with that. We're going to get David Byrne's American Utopia. We're going to be getting Babe, which I thought Babe and Babe Pig in the City were coming from Arrow, but that might just be UK releases. But apparently they're going to be coming from Kino, which makes more sense here in the United States. Jarhead, there it's 4K Blu-ray. There's all the solo releases of the Pink Panther movies for people who are excited about those. I actually like Nacho Libre after seeing a Minecraft movie. Really? I still actually haven't seen the Minecraft movie, if I'm being honest. I probably should see that before year's end. I got Jarhead today. Mendez and Deakins. It should look good. I'm sure it looks good. I saw Jarhead once when it came out. I felt like I got beaten over the head with that movie at the time. And that was also with Jesus Walks by Kanye West was everywhere on the radio. It was just one of those times like I felt like I was getting just bombarded with Jarhead, and I haven't seen it since. I really haven't. I thought it was actually a pretty good movie too. I just haven't seen it since it came out. I got my copy of Crow last night. Excited. Oh, The Crow should have been included on my list of I guess it is kind of still a horror movie, but you have to watch The Crow this time of the year. I mean, you have to watch it on Devil's Night, right? On October 30th, the day before Halloween. So I could see myself watching The Crow this year on the 30th. Thought that was a really good 4K Blu-ray release as well. And down here, December 23rd, 2 days before Christmas, you can see Cloud Atlas, The Perfect Blue 4K, and The Tales from the Dark Side, the movie 4K. I don't know why Cloud Atlas is listed twice on there. Is there a Steelbook? And then, of course, now we just talked about like what's going to be coming in January. So we're starting to see the early remnants of 2026's 4K Blu-ray releases. But hey, I think we went through the schedule, talked about the news. Do you guys like it when we do the calendar thing? I think it's a lot of fun to see what gets added and stuff and what gets moved and kind of see how our wallets are going to be. And what I can tell from October, November, and December is that we're going to be really poor in those months because there's at least something good coming out every single week. I mean, that's great for us collectors, but it's not great for the bank accounts. It's hard to justify to get them all. So, yeah, right now I'm going to wait a little while on the pre-order for the Descent because I don't really have the money lying around. I got the money set aside for Boogie Nights, and I got the money set aside for when the mask ships. So those are where my money lies at the moment. But I'm hoping like in early November, like maybe a week or two before the Descent comes out, I can pre-order that. And I'm hoping for the Barnes & Noble Criterion 50% off sale to justify picking up those other two movies, Eyes Wide Shut and House Party, while I already have The Breakfast Club pre-ordered. I love that Halloween's on a Friday this year. Perfect for a movie marathon. Isn't it great? I think my Halloween movie this year is probably going to be Trick or Treat. I already watched Halloween 1, 2, and 3. It's a shame to say I already blew my load on those. And I've already watched Halloween 4. I haven't watched Halloween 2018 and Kills yet. I don't think I'll be watching Halloween Ends. I can't really justify it just because I don't want to watch it. And I really am still a little bit upset about how they handle that movie because I really like Kills. I know I remember people were pissed at Kills when it came out. I was there for that. I get it. Evil dies tonight. Like, if that's half the movie, the rest of it, like Michael doing his thing in that movie, it's a fun Halloween movie, very underrated. Big John and Little John are great characters too. I always enjoyed it. Dead Man is one I need to catch up on. Says Jim Jarmusch has a new film coming out this December. Which Jim? I know he does. What Jim Jarmusch film is that? The best film that he ever did was that one, in my opinion, at least, was the one he did with Adam Driver. Something, it's a town in New Jersey. I can't remember the name of it, but Adam Driver plays. He makes a lot of movies about like real people. I would say like moments in time, just a peek into people's lives. And this one he did, it was heartbreaking. Like like what he went through in that movie. I really actually like that movie, and I just can't remember what it's a town in New Jersey too. I'm waiting to watch Halloween and Trick or Treat for Halloween night. Perfect. Honestly, great times to watch. I had to watch Halloween a little early for the podcast that me and David are doing because we're filming. If you guys see our Scream show, the next one we're doing, it's going to be coming out on Halloween Day. Actually, this year is our Halloween review. So 2 to 3 hours of David and I talking about Halloween you'll get to listen to on Halloween Day. So hopefully you guys are excited. Patterson, that's it. Patterson, New Jersey. It's titled Father, Mother, Sister, Brother, getting released by Movie on Christmas Eve. So I've heard good things coming out of the film festivals about that. I know you went to New York Film Festival, so I'm not too sure if they showed that. But yeah, Father, Mother, Sister, Brother. That's the one I heard the name. I didn't realize that was a Jim Jarmusch film. So I'm excited to see that. I love to watch Stranger Than Paradise in the winter, late at night. Ooh, Stranger Than Paradise. That's a good call. Yeah, a lot of good stuff coming up, and we're getting spoiled as far as like our favorite films coming to 4K Blu-ray. At the beginning of every year, I like to do after I do the best ofs, I like to get into like looking at like what's coming, and like I like to do the list of the movies that we still want to come the 4K Blu-ray that haven't yet. That list is getting tougher and tougher because if you go back to like 22, we've gotten some of the best films on 4K Blu-ray, and some of the greats still haven't come. Like, of course, we still haven't gotten Fight Club. I think that's one that people have been asking for since the beginning of 4K Blu-rays. It's been rumored for a long time. I'm sure it's going to happen eventually. But the movies that we still need to come to 4K Blu-ray, that list is getting shorter. Dumb and Dumber, obviously, is one I put on there, but it's going to be a lot harder to make that list at the end of the year now. Yeah, it was the centerpiece film at this year's New York Film Festival. I didn't see it, but I hope to watch it soon. Oh, you didn't even get to check it out. Yeah, I'll definitely I'm sure you do the same thing. You like to check out all of like the stuff that are in the running for the Academy Awards, all of the festival films. That's why I get really excited about October, November, December, even early January, is to check out all of those films. It's funny because I'm hearing that a lot of the best films this year are actually the ones that were released by the major studios from released to like the mass audiences of one, like Sinners, One Battle After Another, Weapons, like all the movies that actually I have at the top of my favorite films of the year are actually supposedly some of the best films of the year. Obviously, I can't say for sure because I haven't seen most of these festival films, but I'm looking forward to checking them out before I do my best of the year list. But it's funny to hear that the people have more resonated with like One Battle After Another and Sinners, which are my 1-2 for the year. And those movies I wouldn't have expected at the top of like the major critic association list. You would think that they would probably have more of the movies that appear at the film festival. So it's pretty funny to see it, like how what people are saying about those movies. But I can't wait to see them regardless because I just love movies. So I'll be checking them all out. Also order Roofman as a blind buy. I heard Roofman's good. I know he's not in the chat today, Mr. Smelly Potato, but Mr. Smelly Potato, our channel bankroll member, said Roofman was pretty good. I was bad at 25. Got to get better at 2026. What do you mean, in buying movies or seeing movies? It's so hard to keep up with both, man. Like, I try and make sure I see a new movie every single week, but there's 2 or 3, 4 new movies that come out every single week. That 4K Blu-rays catching up. I watch a movie every single day, and it's hard to like. I still feel like I'm missing out. It's really, really hard, like to actually watch every single thing that comes out or pick up every single 4K Blu-ray that comes out. Like, it's too expensive, and even I think the biggest currency we have, our time. That's something that's really hard. So it's tough to keep up with everything. I don't blame anyone for not being able to keep up with every film or even picking up every 4K Blu-ray or every Blu-ray release out there. It's hard out there for us guys. I know how it is, but it'll get better. Our wallets will refill. I promise you guys. Just got to keep working. But hey, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go watch Jacob's Ladder on 4K Blu-ray with the wife. Hopefully she likes it. I think she will. I think this is something she's going to like. She's never seen it before. If you guys never seen Jacob's Ladder before, check out my review. I'm probably going to have Mission Impossible out on Saturday, and then I'll have Jacob's Ladder out on Monday. Then look for Altered States sometime next week, In the Mouth of Madness sometime next week. So there's a lot of 4K Blu-ray reviews coming down the pike. Scream David and I did the entire breakdown, a 3-hour and 11-minute podcast. You guys will be able to listen and watch on Friday. If you guys are Scream fans, I think we went all out on it. Hopefully you guys enjoy that one. And then obviously tomorrow will be the last time we actually talk about the Nightmare on Elm Street 4K Blu-ray collection. You'll have my review of Wes Craven's New Nightmare and my final thoughts on the entire 4K Steelbook box set. Buying movies, hey Mark, don't feel bad at all. It is what it is. You'll have plenty of sales to pick up more movies. They'll always be there, right, man? You don't gotta ever feel bad about not picking up. Just don't buy the Vinegar Syndrome subscription, okay? Promise. I haven't bought one yet, and I've heard people got really burned on that. Fun stream, John. You're the best. Thanks, Ben. I really appreciate you saying that, man. Love all you guys. I really appreciate you guys popping in here. It always surprises me how many people come to these Wednesday night live streams and just want to come talk physical media and movies with me. I will never not appreciate it. I don't even promote this stuff on social media anymore. I just put it on YouTube and that's it. And like, hopefully you guys find it. And I see that the same people show up every Wednesday night. So hopefully you guys are having a good time. I'm just trying to have some fun, entertain you guys for a little bit, take your mind off the real world and really concentrate on the things that mean most to us. And that's movies and physical media. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Excited for no other choice. I don't blame you. There's so much coming down the pipe, man. We got something to talk about every single Wednesday, that's for sure. And then, if you guys can, Tuesday morning I do a live stream at 7:30 a.m. Eastern time. I know not everybody can wake up for it. I understand that. I get a lot of the European people where it's like the afternoon. That's when they pop in there. But if you're bored or you want to check out the replay, we do that as well. But hey, this is it. I'm getting out of here. Have a good night, guys.